All right, here we go. Facing off against Confed. St. Charles brings the puck in the zone. In the corner. Pass in front. Puck's loose. Confed takes it out. Get to the blue line. Carson stops him, takes the puck into the zone. Behind the net. In the corner. Puck comes out, hands up, waved off the icing. Andrew fires the puck in the zone. Marshfield ties up in the corner. Got Gilbert supporting. And he comes Holden, he puts the puck out front. Confed sends it away. Puck comes back into St. Charles zone. Andrew chips it up at the blue line. Hand pass is called. Puck's in St. Charles zone. Icing called. Rowan McCann in net today. Confed sends the puck back in our zone. Peugeot picks it up. Sends that behind the net from McLean. McLean takes it up to the blue line. It's knocked back by Confed. Peugeot battles down low. Puck comes out to the blue line. Shots fired. McCann gets a pad on that. It's back to the blue line for Confed. Now McLean gets him in the corner. Puck's up the sidewall. We get that out. Large centers that for Marshfield. Marshfield takes it in, gets a shot on net. Goalie sends that away. Behind the net, there's a battle. Confed comes out with the puck. Young gets a piece of it, bounces back to Confed. They get a shot. McCann with the save. St. Charles starting to break out with it, up for Noble. Comes up the side with it, support from Judd. Into the neutral zone, Confed finds the loose puck. They chip it up the sidewall. Pressure from St. Charles. And we chip it into the zone. Knocked back out in the neutral zone. Wiersbicki sends it back up. The other way, Confed enters the zone offside, so they have to let that go. Wiersbicki to Markowicz. Up center, Young gets a piece of it, but knocked back. Wiersbicki cross ice now for Judd. He knocks that down, takes it in the zone. Goes wide. Pass back for Young. He gets the shot. Blocker save. Loose puck. Judd gets a piece of it. Young working at it. Comes out front for Confed. They take it into the zone and dump it in. Behind the net. It's chipped up but kept in. Shot saved by McCann. Out goes Young with it. Young takes in the zone. Gets that to Noble. Back to Young. In front. He's tied up. Can't get the shot. Judd gets the loose puck back to the point. Crossway fires it down low. Noble gets the shot. Goalie makes a save. Rebound from Judd. Finds the back of the net. We could say probably Young from Noble to Judd. Crossway in the mix also. And we got Burns out there too. 1-0 St. Charles with 11:15 to go in the first period. Billard gets the puck off the draw, chips it up for Carson. He gets it into the zone. Get in, shot on net. Maybe hit the posts. Into the corner, comes up to the blue line. Gilbert keeps the puck in. Carson gets the puck behind the net. Into the corner, takes it back behind the net. Behind for Gilbert, in front for Billett. His shot blocked in front. Goalie pulls in the rebound. Whistle goes. Off the draw, comes out front. Confed gets it. Chip it into the neutral zone. St. Charles gets it back. McLean centers that for Gauchi. Over for Gilbert. Gilbert takes it in the zone. Gets in the center lane. Some pressure from Confed, gets the puck out. Now Billard keeps him outside. Peugeot gets the puck in the corner. They're working it, getting some help from Marshfield now. Puck comes out front, chipped away by McLean. Shot fired, saved by McCann. Now Billard to Marshfield. He's into the zone, fired in. Gilbert after it. Penalty coming up to Confed. Slashing is called. Confed's got number 44, Bryce Rocket, net today. Scouting report says Sam Lemieux's out with an undisclosed illness. And with just under 10 minutes to go, first power play coming up for St. Charles. Puck comes out of the zone. Crossway takes it back for St. Charles, regroups in his own zone. It's got Noble coming up the side with him. Cross ice to Judd, and we're back in a Confed zone. Judd's shot goes behind the net. Noble sends it back down low. Judd takes it, hands it off to Noble. Noble walks in, his shot deflected in front, rebound from number 5. Cleared back to Noble. He gets shot through traffic. Goalie gets a piece of it. Young gets the rebound. Young back to Noble. Noble to Crossweight. Crossweight shot deflected in front. Bounce in the corner. Judd sends that behind the net. Young gets a piece of it. Young gets that behind the net, walks out with it. His shot saved. Rebound comes back out front. It's loose. Behind the net, Judd gets a stick on it. But it's cleared out by Confed. St. Charles getting a partial line change in. Crossweight with 45 seconds to go, hands it off to Gauchi, across for Noble. Noble into the zone. On the sidewall, tries to drop that back, it's knocked out of the zone. Markowicz gets it with 30 seconds to go on the power play. All right, Harrison starts to break up with it. Gets that to Marshfield. He chips that into the zone, nice and waved off. Behind the net, Billard gets it. Cycles it for Vinny. Vinny walks out, his shot blocked. Confed gets the puck back, fires it down as the penalty winds down the final seconds. Markowicz gets the puck back to St. Charles. Takes it up center. A little bit of pressure from Confed. They get a shot. McCann shuts the door. Now Billard gets the puck back for St. Charles. Working up the sidewalls. Confed comes out with it. Can't connect on their pass. Now Marshfield with some pressure in the neutral zone. Confed gets it back into the zone. All right. Gilbert's there for it. Chipped up. We get in the zone. Shot fired. Goes a little wide. Into the corner. St. Charles gets it. It's pinned on the boards. Puck comes out front. Shot, save, rebound in the corner. Battle in the corner. Puck comes, no, that's a stick broke. That came out front. Now the puck comes out front. Everyone's tied up. Confed comes out with it. Takes it into the St. Charles zone. Shot blocked. Now St. Charles heads out with it. I believe that's Max O'Kane. Number 3. In the corner, Confed fires it around the boards. Whereas Bicky pinches, he keeps that in, gets support from Larch. Larch gets it down low in the corner. Cleared out by Confed. They re-enter the zone. Loose puck picked up by Burns. Ships that up to Judd. It's knocked back in the corner for Burns. He gets that to Wiersbicky. Puck's chipped up to Judd at center ice. He takes it in the zone. Now Confed starts to break out with it. Pressure from Judd. Knocked down by Noble. Now shot off the blocker. Goes out of bounds. We get a face-off in the St. Charles zone. 5:58 to go in the first period. 1-0 St. Charles. Noble on the draw. Sends it back for Peugeot. Peugeot pinned in the corner, gets support from Nobes up for Judd. Judd takes up the sides. Over the red line, into the zone. Now in comes Noble, gets a shot on net. Confed gets the rebound, heads out the other way with it. Confed into the zone, tied up by Peugeot. Crossway gets the puck out. Confed sends it back in. They're offside, so it gives Peugeot something. Oh! On an offside, too. Wow. It's at least a 4-minute head contact, I believe. So, 4-minute power play coming up. Oh, 2. Only 2 minutes on the board. Wow. All right, St. Charles on the power play. Gucci with some pressure. Gets support from Billard, but the puck comes out for a crossway. Takes that behind the net. From Marshfield to the blue line, we take it in, try to get that across. It's back from Marshfield now for crossway. Daniel for Alex, his shot deflected. Gucci gets a puck behind the net. They get that back for crossway. Down low for Marshfield, he walked in. His shot gets deflected behind the net. Loose puck. Chipped up the boards by Confed. Crossway keeps that in. Carson sends it down low for Billard. Billard takes it behind the net. Back around the other way. Gilbert picks it up. Into the corner. Behind the net. Marshfield for Gilbert. There we go. Nice hit from Vinny. Now puck on Vinny's stick. Comes out. In front for Crossway, his shot into the glove. The puck comes down, the goalie finds the rebound. 37 seconds to go in the power play. Excuse me. Noble on the around the other way, Judd's there, Keaton. Back for Markowicz, back to Judd. Over his stick for Holden. Back to Judd. Tries to get that to the points. Noble's there. Into the corner for Young. Skates out with it, hands it off to Nobes. He walks in, fires a look to the corner. Judd sends it down low for Holden. Back for Judd. Markowicz is there. We're back to 5-on-5 as the puck goes on net. The goalie hangs on to it. Carson on the draw. Puck goes in the corner. It's chipped up. Bounces over the blue line. Confed gets it into the zone. Pass intercepted by Carson. Takes it through the neutral zone. Back into Confed territory. His shot saved. Rebounds into the corner. Got a battle down low. Penalty coming up against Confed. I believe. Well, we'll see who's. Two for boarding. So 2:51. St. Charles on third power play. Third or second? Anyways, another power play. Back to the point it goes. Wiersbicki sends it down low. Carson sends that across. Comes back to the point for Wiersbicki. Marshfield walks in. His shot blocked. He gets the puck back in the corner for Billard. Billard takes it behind the net. Gets it to Carson. His shots. Guess it went out of bounds. Yeah. Out of bounds. Yeah, it was St. Charles late on the change, getting kicked out of the draw. So Judd steps in. Puck goes in the corner. Back for Wiersbicki. Sends that down low for Young. Young in front for Judd. His shot over the net. Puck comes out for Wiersbicki. Back in the St. Charles zone. Up for Judd, across for Noble. Noble into the zone. Sends that into the far corner. Back for Wiersbicki now. Hands that off to Liam. Liam walks in with it. Gets a pass in front. Goalie gets a piece of it. Noble gets it in the corner. Minutes ago in the power play, Noble sends it down low for Young. Young behind the net gets it in front. Rebound from Larch. Puck gets to the blue line. Big dive from Noble. Keeps the puck in. Double dive. Puck comes out this time. Now it's back for Wiersbicki. Finds Liam at the red line. Liam walks in with it. But offside is called. 25 seconds to go in the penalty. 1:17 in the first. 1-0 St. Charles. Off the draw, Holden brings it over the blue line, walks in with it, gets it back to McLean on the point. McLean through traffic, gets a shot deflected by Holden. Puck goes into the corner. Gilbert gets it, skates it out to the hash mark, sends it back to McLean. McLean walks across the blue line, shot blocked in front. Confed chips it up. McLean gets a piece of it, but out comes Confed. 3-on-2. 2-on-3. Puck deflected in. We got a 1-1 game. Seconds to go in the first, all tied up at 1. Carson on the draw. That's for Billard. Billard takes it into the zone. Into the corner with it now. Gilbert takes it behind the net. Sends it back to the point. Shot, save, rebound from Carson. Goalie dives across, makes the save. Gucci gets it in front for Gilbert. His shot deflected into the corner. Confed chips it up. We send that back in with 15 seconds on the clock. Billard gets a shot. Rebound goes in the corner for Gilbert. Sends that behind the net for Billard. It's tied up. Puck comes back to the point. We get a shot. Puck goes wide. Half a second, and that's the end of the first. Tied up at 1. All right, 15 minutes to go in the second. Puck comes into the St. Charles zone. Chip it up the sidewall. Judd gets it. Hands it off to Noble. Noble gets it to the blue line. Young gets it in the zone. Picks it back up. Comes back for Burns. Burns to Judd. Judd to Noble. Noble brings it in. He sees an opening. Oh, just missed that 5-hole. Goalie got a stick on that the last second. At the blue line, we keep it in, get tripped up, and out goes Confed. We get in, shot saved by McCann. Loose puck, very loose. Goes into the net. (2-1) Confed, 14-12 to go in the second period. And off the draw, Risbicki gets it out front. It's at the blue line, Confed gets it back. In the neutral zone, they dump it in. Knocked down by St. Charles. At the blue line, Holden sends that across for Larch. Larch takes it into the zone. Pass in front. Can't get through. Now it does. Marshfield finds it behind the net. Puck comes out, but Confed picks it up. At the blue line, dump the puck back in. In our zone, we chip it up. Out comes Marshfield. Over for Larch. His shot deflected. Marshfield gets it in front for Holden. It's in his feet. There we go. Marshfield ties up in the corner. Out comes Confed. They chip it into the zone. Peugeot picks it up behind the net. Chips it up the boards. Battle in the corner. Tie up down low. In the other corner, picked up by St. Charles. Get that up to the red line. Confed takes it back. Chips it in the zone. Markowicz chips it up the boards. Billard chips it up center, picked up by Confed. They pass that in front, can't connect. Billard sends it down low, puck comes out front, and Gilbert gets it back for St. Charles. He hands it off to Regan. He's after it. Tries to get that in front, bounces off, and Carson gets it back to the point. Bounces off with a clean stick. He hands it off to Peugeot. Peugeot to Gilbert, back on side. Gets that over. Carson tries to get that to Billard. Gets some help from Gilbert, back to Carson. Confed takes it behind the net. Good pressure from Gucci. Gets it back to the blue line. Shot from Peugeot off a pad. Back for Gilbert. Can't get the shot. Now Confed sends it up center. Enter the zone. Shot into the glove of Rowan McCann. 11.5 minutes to go in the second. Confed up 2-1. Burns gets the puck off the draw, chips up the boards out of the zone. Confed sends it into their bench. We'll get a face-off in the neutral zone. Jackson sends that cross ice off the draw. Judd gets the red line, sends it in the zone. Noble with some pressure, ties up behind the net, gets support. Judd sends it, tries to get that to the blue line. Confed gets it, now Young gets it back. It's knocked away, hands up for an icing. "11 minutes to go in the second. Young gets the puck in the corner. It's knocked back to the blue line. Penalty coming up for a trip. Wow, all right. Well, power play now for Confed. Burns and Crossley on the points. Noble and Judd up front. Face off to the left of Rowan. 10:47 to go in the second. Still 2-1 Confed. Puck goes around the blue line. Judd knocks that out of the zone. Gives himself a breakaway. And he buries it. Short-handed goal to put St. Charles back in even position, 2-2. Nice hustle from Noble behind the net to get that around to Judd. And finds the back of the net on the breakaway. But still on the penalty kill for another minute 47. Off the draw, Confed sends it into the zone. Burns gets there in the corner. Ties up and chips it out. Confed gets the puck in the neutral zone. Pressure from Marshfield. Causes a turnover. And in comes Gauchi. He gets a piece of it, but now Confed sends it in. Burns takes it back, fires it up center. And back into Confed territory. There we go. Pressure from Carson. Keeps the puck in the zone. He gets support from Burns. He sends it back in. Now on the other side, Confed picks it up on the side. There we go. Marshfield steps up. Gets in the way. Gets some help from Crossley. Loose puck in the neutral zone. Sent away by St. Charles. Confed offside at the moment. Can't take it in. Now they get it in the zone. Marshfield knocks that away, and Carson sends it all the way down the ice. 35 seconds to go in the St. Charles penalty. 9:20 to go in this 2-2 game, second period. Billard forces the play. Confed takes it into the zone. Cut in front, they get a shot. All right. Rowan McCann shuts the door. Off the draw, puck goes to the hash marks, it's loose. Billard knocks that away. Gilbert chips up to the blue line. Kept in, shot on net, saved by McCann. Rebound in the corner, chipped away by Wiersbicki, gets that all the way out. Back into Confed territory as we go 5-on-5. Billard with some pressure, gets support from Larch. We got Max O'Kane going in for some action. Larch gets a piece of it. It's back to the St. Charles blue line. Ship that up center. Holden finds it, takes it in the zone. He's got a battle in the corner. Walks out, gets tripped. The ref couldn't see it, neither one from their angle. He was in the blind spot. Puck gets to the blue line and out. Confed gets it in, their shot goes wide. They keep it in at the blue line. Puck picked up by St. Charles. Around it goes. St. Charles feeds it up the center, chips it into the zone. Holding with some pressure behind the net. Tying him up. Jackson gets in the way out front. Tries to get that in front, that's chipped away. Shot, fired, deflected in the corner. O'Kane sends that behind the net, Holden bumps him. Peugeot keeps it in, but Confed gets it out at the blue line. They chip it into St. Charles territory. McCann plays it behind the net for Markowicz. Markowicz gets tied up the boards. Gets some help from Young. Puck comes out front, cleared away by Judd. Now from the point, shot fired, knocked away by Judd and chipped up center by Markowicz. Noble to Liam. Liam gets in. Oh, shot goes a little too high. Judd gets his own rebound, sends it down low. Noble bumps him. He's going to get called there. Called for boarding, 2 minutes for boarding. .6:44 to go in the second. Okay, Judd wins the draw. Confed keeps it at the blue line. Shot, glove save-ish. 7 seconds gone in the penalty. Off the draw, Confed sends it back to the blue line. Judd blocks a shot. McLean ties up in the corner. Liam on the sidewall gets that to the blue line. Patrick Young picks it up, and he's going for a skate. Takes it into the zone. Confed gets it back, starts to go up the other way. Peugeot stops him in the neutral zone. At the blue line, shot blocked by Judd. And now Young gets it back. Confed takes it back in their zone. Pressure from St. Charles. Liam gets the puck. Gets cross-checked, possibly tripped. Loose puck, picked up by Confed. Judd gets that back. Walks out with it, gets a shot on net. It's loose. Just barely comes out. Back in the zone, offside. Now we get that back with 30 seconds to go in the penalty. Gilbert gets it in the neutral zone. Gets some help from Carson. Carson sends that back for Peugeot. Peugeot sends that deep into Confed territory. Five minutes to go in the second. Confed starts to break out with it. Pressure from St. Charles, and Peugeot sends that deep. 5 seconds to go in the penalty. As McLean stops him at the blue line, ties up at the red. And Peugeot gets it back for St. Charles. We're back to 5-on-5. Peugeot gets it up center. Confed's working at the red line, but Carson gets it. In comes Regan to help out. His shot couldn't get through traffic. Takes it behind the net. Pass in front. Carson was all tied up. Burns is there to keep it in. Gilbert gets the puck in the corner. His shot just wide of the net. Burns is there. Burns sends that down low. Gilbert with some pressure, keeps it in the zone. Comes back to the blue line. Crossway walks across. His shot deflected. Comes out front. Knocked away by Confed, but Daniel's there to keep it in. Down low, Gilbert takes it behind the net. Gilbert to Gauchi. Gauchi in front for Billard. He was tied up. Confed takes it into St. Charles territory. Knocked away into the corner. Now Gilbert gets it at the blue line. Sends that cross ice to Carson. He chips it in the zone as a head off for a change. Now comes Marshfield, Larch, and Holden. Marshfield gets a puck out front. Confed's in the way. Larch is there to keep it in. Cleared out by Confed, but Burns picks it up in the neutral zone. Sends it up for Holden. Holden puts it deep in the zone. Marshfield ties up as Larch works at the puck. Larch to Holden. He walks out with it. His shot almost got in, squeaking it in, but the goalie found it at the last second. And off the draw. Puck goes in the corner. Hands up for a penalty. Holding on, I don't know who's calling it on. On us? How? He calls a single penalty on St. Charles after two guys rolled on the ground. Back on the penalty kill with 2:45 to go in the second, 2-2 game. Puck comes out front. That's cleared out by St. Charles. Pressure from Judd keeps the puck in the Confed territory. Gets some help from Noble. Anyways, Confed gets it back. They chip it up, back in the neutral zone. Markowicz sends it back into Confed territory. Judd with some pressure. Puck comes up center. Big hit from St. Charles. Oh, Judd almost gets the puck back. Loose puck. Picked up by Judd. He gets a shot, rebounds loose. 1:08 to go in the penalty. Just under 2 minutes to go in the second. Jackson on the draw. Liam on the wing. Andrew on the point with Quinn. Puck comes back for Quinn. Ships it down low for Liam. He ties up behind the net. Comes out with it. Working in the corner. Circles back. Nope, cut it in. Comes back to the point. Get that in. Back for Judd. He works it around. He ties up. There we go. Judd sends it back to the point for McLean. McLean picks it up, fires up, and Young chips it up for for Noble. Noble takes a knee. Wow, no knee call on that one. Confed comes back out with it. They get in, can't get a shot off. Puck's loose behind the net. Peugeot picks it up. Yeah. Oh. 45 seconds to go in the second. Peugeot gets the puck into the zone. Gets some support from Marshfield. We're back to 5-on-2. Carson gets a puck in the neutral zone, walks in with it. Takes it wide. Pass in front. Marshfield. 3-2 lead for St. Charles. Just about everyone touched the puck out there that time. Peugeot, McLean, Young, and then Gauchi to Marshfield. 28 seconds to go in the second period. All right, off the draw. Carson comes out with it, takes it in the zone, puts it out front. Finney is all tied up. Puck's back for Billard now. He chips that down low. 15 seconds on the clock. Puck off the glass. Confed sends that out. Ice and waved off. I'm not sure why. As the penalty period winds down, that's the end of the second. 3-2 St. Charles. back in Coppercliff, Ontario for third period action between Federation Chargers and the St. Charles Cardinals. Off the draw, Billard gets it in the zone. It's knocked out by Confed. Crossway gets that up to Gilbert, and we're back in the zone. Carson gets the puck. It's knocked away. Burns gets it back. Hands it back to Carson. Carson chips it into the zone. Confed takes it behind the net. Dodges a hit. Gets it to the blue line. Crossway knocks it back in the zone. Back on side. In goes Carson and Regan. Support from Vinny. Puck comes out for Burns. Cross for Crossway. He takes that in the zone. Dodges a couple bodies. Takes it behind the net. Hits the brakes. Still's got time. Sends it behind the net now. Gilbert after it in the corner. Tying up, getting support from Carson. Pucks around for Crossway. Chips that back in. It's knocked out by Confed. High stick called against St. Charles. Puck will come out to the blue line. Just under 14 minutes to go in the third period. 3-2. Oh, I guess face-off's inside. Okay. All right. Marshfield gets a piece of it, fires a shot, glove save. Rebound in the corner, in front by Holden. Now Larch fires that on net. Goalie hangs on to it. Marshfield on the draw. Holden on the wing with Larch. McLean and Peugeot on the point. Puck comes back to McLean. He chips that in. Shot goes wide. Now Holden gets a shot. Rebound goes behind the net. In the corner. Knocked away from the front of the net. Confed heads out with it. Puck gets over the blue line. Larch chips it into the neutral zone. Confed sends it back into St. Charles territory. McLean picks up the puck. Sends that cross ice for Larch. Larch takes it in the zone. Pass in front. Marshfield's all tied up. Puck comes around the other side. Judd's there to keep it in. Ties up on the side. Puck squirts out. Confed heads out with it. Chip it in the zone. Wiersbicky gets it behind along the corner. Comes out the side with it. Confed's there to keep it in. At the blue line, Young with some pressure. Noble gets the puck. Young to Noble, up for Judd. Judd takes it in the zone. His shot on net. Goalie makes a save. Rebound in the corner for Judd. Judd takes it behind the net. Pass in front for Noble. His shot, it's in! Judd to Noble. And we got a 4-2 game for St. Charles Cardinals. .12:02 to go in the third period. In the neutral zone, Judd chips it in. Gets a shot, goalie makes a save. Ooh, Judd takes a shot in the corner, gets the puck back. Around the other way, Young keeps it in. Now it's back for Wiersbicky. Puts that down low. It's knocked away by Confed. Chip it up center. Markowicz to Wiersbicky. Intercepted by Confed. Markowicz gets it back. Confed keeps it in at the blue line. Judd comes in, knocks the puck away. Confed gets a shot. That goes wide. At the blue line, Confed keeps it in again. And now Wiersbicki picks up the puck. Fires it up for Young. That's icing. 11:03 left in regulation. Carson on the draw. Vinny and Regan on the wings. Burns on the point with crossway. Daniel gets the puck off the draw. Chips it up the board. Gets some help from Carson. Now Burns chips that away from the net. Gilbert picks it up in the sidewall. Gets some help from Billard, who clears it out of the zone. Pressure from Carson. Confed sends it cross ice back into St. Charles territory. Crossweight. Up for Gauchi. He takes it in. Gets a shot. Goalie makes a save. Puck's in the corner. Battle down low. Carson gets a piece of it. Comes out to the blue line. Billard hands it off. The crossweight. Cross for Burns. Now Gilbert gets that over the blue line. Billard falls it in. Support from his teammates. Puck's in the neutral zone. Now O'Kane picks it up. Chips that across for Gilbert. Gilbert in the zone. Gets a shot. Goalie makes the save. He's not sure where it is, though. And his blocker somewhere. Shoulder blocker. Anyways. 10:56 left in regulation. 4-2. St. Charles. Puck goes behind the net. Goalie pulls it in. It's loose though. Holden sends it back out front. O'Kane's shot goes wide. Puck's chipped up by Confed. Now Peugeot sends it back in the zone. Holden picks up the puck. He finds the top corner. Peugeot to Holden. 5-2. St. Charles. Puck's on net. Puck's on net. Well, Confed breaks a stick off the draw. He's got to drop it. Marshfield brings the puck in the zone. Gets help from O'Kane. His shot goes off the side of the net. Chipped away, but Holden fires it back on net. This time the goalie gets it in the glove. .10:24 left in regulation. 5-2 for the Birdies. Off the draw, Jeff finds the puck, gets a shot. Goalie makes a save. Young gets the puck in the corner. He's tied up, gets support from Noble. Noble gets that to Liam. Liam walks in, gets a shot in the nets. Noble to Judd. And that'll give him the old hat trick. 6-2, 10-10 left in regulation. Noble sends it into Confed zone off the draw. Noble gets the puck, takes in, he gets tripped up, penalty coming up against Confed. Young sends that around, Peugeot keeps it in, goalie comes out of the net for St. Charles. Young gets the puck down low for Judd, over for Noble. Now Confed finds it. Power play coming up for St. Charles. I believe tripping is the call. Hooking, okay. Yeah. 9:44 to go. Noble on the draw. Young and Billard on the wings. Judd on the point with Markowicz. Markowicz battles at the blue line, gets that down low. Confed gets in the corner, chips it up. Markowicz gets a piece of it. Noble gets the rest. Noble gets in. His shot just a little high at the blue line. Judd keeps that in. Walks across, gets it down low for Nobes. Back door for Young. Goalie finds it somehow. And Confed clears it out. We'll get a partial line change going. Markowicz gets the puck behind the net. Hands it off to Carson. He takes that up through the neutral zone into the Confed territory. Not the typical breakout, but effective nonetheless. In front for Young now. Tries to get Noble in the back door, gets him in the feet. Puck goes in the corner. Markowicz keeps it in at the blue line. Young at the hash mark battles. Looking for a tripping call there. That's not coming. Now Noble knocks that into the zone. Confed blows a wheel in the corner. Carson with some pressure. Billard sends it around for Young. Young in the corner, comes out with it. Gets a shot, rebounds, covered up by the goalie. 40 seconds to go in the power play. 8:25 left in regulation. 6-2 Cards. Off the draw, we send it back to the point. Wiersbicky goes D to D. Comes back for Wiersbicky. Down low for Carson. Carson back to the point. Shot through traffic, deflected in front, it's loose. Confed finds it, but in comes Carson. Picks up the loose puck. Hands it off to Marshfield. Marshfield back to Carson. Backhand, forehand, deflected out of bounds. $14 seconds to go in the penalty. We'll get a regular lines out there. So, well, not regular actually. 2 defense, 3 forwards. Burns on the point with Wiersbicky. Puck comes back for Wiersbicky. His shot deflected into the corner. Carson gets it. Marshfield supports. Back for Wiersbicky, back for Carson in front. Deflected. Marshfield just missing it. Now a battle in the corner from Larch. He gets that back for Wiersbicky. Back for Carson. Down low for Larch. Larch cycles it for Marshfield in front, but no one's there except for a couple Confed players. They can't get that out. Burns shot for the point, deflected away. Carson to Wiersbicky. He sends that back down low for Marshfield. Behind the net. Pressure from Confed. They get in the corner, but Carson gets it back. Pass in front for Marshfield. Bobbles away. In comes Holden. Shots wide. Picked up by Confed. They chip it up to the neutral zone. Burns picks it up. Gets it to Holden. He chips it up center, but picked up by Confed. They're knocked off the puck by Burns. Burns to Holden. Over for Noble. Back for Holden. Cross for St. Charles, but glove save from Confed. Can't see who that was, so it was O'Kane and Noble on that rush also. .640 left in regulation. Shot off the draw. Hands are in the air. Puck is not in the net. Marshfield on the draw. O'Kane and Holden on the wings. Oh, goalie's got a issue. Out comes Sam Lemieux to fill in for the last 6.5 minutes, or maybe just a couple seconds. Off the draw, Confed chips it over the blue line. Crossway gets it back for St. Charles. Behind the net, up for O'Kane. He chips it up into the neutral zone. Confed sends it back to O'Kane. He sends it into the zone. Now Confed sends it out again. This time Burns sends it across ice for Holden. Holden chips it in. O'Kane finds it. It's knocked back for Holden. O'Kane gets the shot. Lemieux shuts the door. Yeah, sorry for the footage. Not a lot of good angles at this rink. All right, just under 6 minutes to go in the 6-2 game. Puck is sent around the boards. Burns keeps that in. Puck gets knocked away. Noble is there to cover. He gets that into Young. At the blue line, Confed gets it out of the zone. Pressure from St. Charles gets it back in. They send that behind the net in the corner. Young's there for it. He gets that down low for Judd. He puts that in front. Noble's shot either blocked or saved. Confed comes out with it. Now in the corner, Kane keeps him outside. Noble to Young, back to Noble. Cross to Judd, it bounces away. He picks it up down low. Puck's in the corner, picked up by Confed. Take it in the zone, off the post. Rebound, McCann kicks out the pad. And Noble gets the rebound. Noble sends it up to Judd. You saw him the whole way. Judd, top corner as the stick was being shot at him. Noble to Judd for their probably 4th or 5th connection tonight. Markowicz takes the puck in the zone. Backhand shot, saved by Lemieux. Puck comes out of the neutral zone. Markowicz is there for it. Dumps it back in. Cleared out by Confed. Confed takes it in the zone, gets past 1 or 2. They get a goal. 7-3 with 4:11 to go in regulation. Right back in the zone. Wiersbicky keeps it in, but Confed chips it out. Wiersbicky across for Peugeot. Up for Gilbert, he chips that in the zone. Carson with some pressure. Him and Billard working at it. Carson to Regan. Regan walks out with it. Couple moves, finds a 5-hole. Gucci and Billard, 8-3. in the zone. Slap shot from Holden, that goes wide. Larch gets it in the corner. Hands it off to Crossweight. He chips that down low. From the corner, we pass out front. That shot deflected away. Confed gets it back. 2:45 left in regulation. It's chipped in the zone. Battle on the sidewall. Holden kicks it back for Burns. Burns for Crossweight. Up on the side. We get that out of the zone. Marshfield with some pressure. Now Holden. He gets the puck back. Circles with it. He's got some time and space. He chips that up for Judd. Chips that up to the neutral zone. Knocked away by Confed. Now Burns down low. Sends it up the boards. At the blue line. Kept in by Confed. Burns gets it back though, chips it down. It's going to be icing. 1:44 to go in regulation. Face off to the left of the goalie. Confed gets it back to the blue line. On the corner, McLean battles. Off the puck. Noble chips it up for Young. Young chips it up. It's kept in under the blue line. In front, shot goes wide. Judd gets the puck. Dodges a hit. Puck comes over. Now Noble chips it out of the zone. Confed gets the puck back in the neutral zone. Knocked away by Nobes. Now McLean chips it up center. Noble picks it up as we enter the final minute. Over for Judd. Noble to Judd. And they score again. 9-3 with 55 seconds to go in regulation. Puck goes in the zone. Confed chips it up. Carson and Vinny keep that in. Confed comes out with it. McLean blocks the pass. 15 seconds left in the regulation. McLean blocks another pass. Chips it out of the zone. Picked up by Gilbert. Gilbert takes it in. Fakes a shot. Knocks him down. And that's going to be the end of this matchup. (9-3) win for St. Charles. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.